Look, I don't even want to do the thing. We saw Fast X twice. Let's just talk about it. All right.
Yeah. So we each saw Fast X, FasTEN, Fasten twice.
Fasten your seatbelt twice. Yeah. What we saw, I was out of town, so I saw it with my brothers, and then you saw it with your coworker, your friend?
Good friend.
Okay, you saw it with your friend, and then when I came back, we went and saw it together to see if our opinions changed.
Because we had to do it for the pod.
We did. It has to happen.
We did it for the Vine, and here we are.
God. Okay. I want to just, before we get into that one, let's talk the build up to this one a little bit, coming off of a weird, shaky post 7, right?
Yeah.
Like 7, I don't think you and I are really all that into most of anything in 8.
No.
Like 8 has a couple of fun ideas, has a couple of pretty good sequences, but nothing stellar about that movie.
I legitimately can't remember who the bad guy is in 8.
It's Dom. That's the one where Dom goes bad.
Yeah,
it's the introduction of Cypher.
Yeah.
Cypher, a character they cannot figure out what to do with.
Truly.
Holy hell.
So 8.
8 happens. 9, in a lot of ways, feels like a return to form and also a departure in
right.
some... Like you put it, it's like these movies are about chosen family, and then 9 is the one that doubles down on like Toretto.
Yeah.
In the wrong way?
Yeah.
Trying to fill the shoes of Paul Walker.
And I would argue that 10 kind of follows down that same path.
Oh, completely.
That in a negative way.
It's like it makes the parallel that the villain is, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But that being said, 9 left a better taste in my mouth.
Same.
9 left me wanting more and excited for more.
Was
you know
Hobbs
what I mean?
and Shaw between 8 and 9, or was it after 9?
It was between 8 and 9. Because
okay,
that
so
one,
9
that one
was
came
the
out,
last
and that's
one.
what kind of started the rift between them that has the
Right.
funniest conclusion of all time.
Yeah.
So yeah, that it's safe to say you were looking forward to this.
Yeah. Yeah, I was hoping to kind of continue down the path of possibility that was sprouted a little bit in 9 of returning to form a little bit. And I was hopeful before I saw the first trailer.
Yeah.
And then
the second trailer warmed you a little bit,
I
right?
saw the first trailer on my computer or on my phone or something I think it was probably my computer. And I was not into it. I just wasn't into it. It looked like garbage to me.
Yeah.
The CG looked so bad. I just wasn't into it. And then I saw it in a theater before a movie, and I was like, all right, I buy this a little bit more.
It looks fun, you know. It looks
fun.
big.
It looked big.
The trailers present Momoa's character as something that he is not at all in the movie.
Yeah.
In a interesting, I don't know why they did that way.
Yeah.
Maybe to hide and make it fun that the character is so unique as a villain within the series, but
Yeah.
I don't know.
And then I saw that I literally can't even remember the difference between the first and the second trailer. I do remember that the CG looks better in the second trailer.
And then worse in the movie.
And then worse in the movie?
Yeah, this is like the first Fast and Furious movie I walked out of just going, okay,
yeah.
Because even Fate of the Furious I enjoyed when I first saw it. And Hobbs and Shaw I enjoyed when I first saw it.
Yeah.
Enough, you know what I mean? Like I had a
Yeah.
good time. This one I was just sitting there like, okay, all right.
Yeah.
Like it feels so lost in itself in a way that, which is crazy that I'm saying this about a Fast and Furious movie.
Do you want to talk about your feelings before we actually jump into the damn thing? How are you
my feelings
going in?
I came in just excited because I'm me. I have this little that's sitting on my desk. I just am the world's renowned.
What's sitting on your desk? There are people, there are audio listeners.
Oh, I don't care about that.
Fuck the video listeners.
Yeah, okay,
We're here
sorry.
for the
I
audio.
got a little Dominic Toretto Funko Pop, and I got a little Dominic Toretto Charger Lego set. I got all the Blu-rays. I am a fucking Fast and Furious fanatic.
Do you have a bigger charger?
No, I have the Lego Batmobile
Oh, okay.
that does
I
look
guess-
similar.
Okay.
I
thought you had
almost
a big
bought the
one.
Charger too.
So, okay, I think that must be what we were talking about because I feel like I've seen it anyways.
I almost bought the Charger one time.
yeah, I'm surprised you didn't.
I should have. Anyway,
You're irresponsible enough. I'm just kidding.
you're not wrong. Like anyway, that was before.
But when the first trailer came out, I remember like I super wasn't that into it, but you were.
And I was like, Jason Momoa licks blood off a knife. What else do I want?
Right.
Like that looks cool. The trailer hypes up a lot of it, and it has some ridiculous fucking stunts in there that I am super into. You know what I mean? And the second trailer came out, I was still excited. It kind of premiered in Rome, and I heard like right out the gate, I heard like good things, and then I immediately all the like reviews started coming out of like this movie's not good, guys.
Yeah.
And I went into it still a little hopeful that it was just a, weird little critic thing.
Yeah.
Everything I love about this series is kind of gone.
Spoilers from here on out. Spoilers for the movie. Go watch it. Yeah,
I do think watch it. Like, especially if you like these movies, you need to. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
like,
you gotta stay up with the lore.
Yes, no fucking joke. But it's spoilers. What's going on, man? Like, look, there's a couple things that need to be said, and I don't know how much they would have changed it. Justin Lin left like a week into production.
Yeah, we should talk about the pre-production woes.
Like that needs to be said.
Yeah.
Now that also, the movie was prepped by Justin Lin.
Yeah.
The guy that came and just didn't need to mess it up was the problem.
Right.
So it's very.
I also don't think that, like, legitimately, you know what the biggest red flag is for me? The fact that Chris Morgan isn't writing it anymore.
Yeah.
I really think that is a bigger deal than Justin Lin leaving week one. Like, truly. I think that has a larger effect.
I don't think you're
on
wrong.
This movie.
Yeah, like, and the problem is, I think
Same thing.
Sorry,
man.
Vin Diesel, vehicle identification number Diesel, has really gotten his grubby little mitts in this, and it's become his baby. And like,
again, I've said this before. Why doesn't he just direct?
I don't know.
Like, he's directed before. He's directed shorts within the franchise before. Why doesn't he just direct the movie?
But the problem is you watch him in this one and you're like, do you care?
Yeah.
Vin, like, this is your thing. Do you care?
Okay, so question.
Yeah.
During my second viewing of the movie, I took notes. I grabbed one of the Alamo order cards and I took notes during this movie. I literally have one page front and back and then another one almost full page. Would you like to order this cover? Because we're going to cover, I have to imagine we will cover all of your ideas and all of your problems. Do we want to go through my notes and talk about each of these things or some of these things?
Let's go through your notes. That'll be a good way to structure it. Let's just real quick finish. Yeah, like, Lynn leaves.
Yes. Okay, my bad.
Pandemic is still going on while filming.
Right.
And they filmed a lot of it in Europe.
Yeah.
So that has to affect it too. I don't know how the rules driven, but Europe is definitely more strict than America. So that affects a few small things. So I went in expecting a few of those small things, like sometimes actors aren't on set together and being ready for that stuff. God, man, it's like it feels permeated with nothing but that in the most pointless ways.
I think I would feel very different about this movie if it was just written better. Like that is kind of my like, look, I could hand wave away production issues, thus making editing weird and some scenes not work great in terms of like the action and flow and editing. But it's like the script should not have been affected by the pandemic. You know what I mean?
No.
And
you are absolutely right about that.
And so, like, from that perspective, like, that's my big issue where it's just like, and well, to that end, maybe there are reasons that certain actors couldn't be with certain other actors, and so they had to kind of write around that. You know,
yeah.
So
well,
maybe that is the case for some of it.
I think the other thing I really want to address before we get into your notes is I walked out of this movie and I looked at my two brothers and my cousin who went with us, and I went, it felt like the rest of the cast said, can we not work with Vin for this one? Because he only interacts with new people outside of like one or two scenes.
Literally one scene.
It's like
he speaks to
Han.
He speaks to Han in one scene and his grandmother in another.
And then he's at the
mother
at the party, but he doesn't really say anything.
Is his mother or his grandmother?
His grandmother.
His grandmother.
Yeah.
Where's his mom?
They don't really talk about her. They talk about his dad quite a bit.
Interesting.
I don't know. I don't know.
But Charlize Theron Cypher is his mom.
She time traveled. That's the twist. But that's my. I can't believe in the thing predicated on family. He also talks to Letty too. He has a couple scenes with Letty.
Yeah.
But as soon as they get to Rome, no more.
Yeah, truly. Yeah.
They are split up. She's on her motorcycle. He's in his car. They never have another scene together.
Like I don't even think Dom ever even speaks to them on the walkie-talkie.
Like he'll address them on the walkie, and they may have a back and forth here or there, but really it's not that much.
It's the first scene as a family. He doesn't speak to anyone other than Han and his grandmother.
Yeah.
Then the scenes with Letty at the house, and then Rome, where he talks to them on the walkie-talkie, and he never speaks to any of them for the rest of the movie.
No, he has a little bit with John Cena right at the end, but not the actual core family.
Yeah.
They're off on the fucking most pointless side mission ever invented.
Boy, howdy.
Oh.
Okay. Notes time?
Notes time.
Okay. I did this I've only done this once before, and it was for Hobbs and Shaw, so I feel like it's kind of appropriate.
If that is saying something, it's,
My first note is de-aging. Boy, howdy, the de-aging at the beginning of this movie is truly awful.
I also can't tell with that, what's up with the fucking filter they're putting over the Fast 5 footage? And it's like they're trying to match it and couldn't, so they just fucked everything up.
Truly. Like, it's the filter, it's the de-aging, it's it was bizarre.
They make Momo look weird in his neck in those sequences
they
too.
Make everyone look like they're made out of plastic.
Yeah.
It's like, guys, look, I understand this was 10 years ago. Will anybody in the fucking audience give a shit that Jason Momoa looks the same and that the old guy
cover up his little scar right there, and then in the future stuff, in the present day stuff, give him his scar back, and we're good. We get it. Like,
you could do such a light touch on it, and it would do the exact same thing.
Change his hair a little bit.
Yeah,
make him wear like different clothes.
Give him a different vibe in the new. Like
all you have to do, and we are all good with it.
Yeah. My next note is editing. Specifically the first like 10 or 15 minutes, but the entire movie. The first 10 or 15 minutes specifically is maybe some of the worst editing I've seen in a very long time. Usually I am not one to notice editing that much. Even if it's not great, I'm not one to like notice it that much. I was immediately like, what the fuck is happening? Where is everyone? Who are instantly I was like just bombarded with cuts and it is and like matching between the old footage and the new footage and it just does not cut well. No. And they cut it badly.
Well, and on top of that, right, we're immediately drawn to watching the best one.
Yes.
Thinking about this series at its best and then watching it at its worst.
That is the biggest disservice this movie does for itself, is immediately make it compare itself to the best one in the franchise.
Reminds us Fast 5. It's like literally after you watch that 5 minutes into the new stuff, you're like, should I just go watch Fast 5?
Like they should have just made the bad guy from Fast and like Too Fast, Too Furious, the bad guy here, or his son.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because then I feel like it's
then
just
we could forgive a little bit more.
Yeah,
and then it gives you a chance to make Rome a little bit more. You know what I mean? Like they're desperate to find someone to fill shoes for Paul Walker, and it's like, Han, you have Han,
just make it Han.
But they don't do anything with him.
No,
like at all. He's sitting there eating his little drug muffin for no fucking reason.
We'll
get to that.
Photos. That scene where he's in the garage and there's the photos and they're literally just frames from the older movies.
Well,
it's like makes me laugh. Like literally made me laugh in the theater.
The specific one that's the funniest is him and Brian from 4, where they're like, he's like, "This is where my jurisdiction ends.
Yeah,
this is where mine begins." That scene.
I think it's another note later. They need to figure out what to do with Brian. They need to figure it out because they can't keep just mentioning that he's not here. They can't keep doing it.
Dude, I thought 9 had a fucking wonderful way of addressing it where they had this last little tribute where they're like, oh, he's on his way. And then you see the skyline pull up. It's like perfect. Wonderful.
Like just quit mentioning him or kill him off screen. Like legitimately.
Nah.
I've heard people say like that same idea. I don't know how to do that well, like legitimately. I don't feel good about it.
No,
but you just can't keep doing this, guys.
Look, I will admit, I think quit mentioning him is our only option here. But the problem is I think they're bringing him back.
Oh, yeah.
Paul Walker's daughter was in this one. She's the flight attendant that helps them.
Oh, really?
Yeah, that's his daughter. I believe that's her. I know she's in it. I'm like 90% sure that's her.
Interesting.
So she's in it, and it feels his brothers apparently have been like seen on set once or twice, and so I'm like, look, it becomes much more complicated when the family is very much okay with it and involved with it. I think is the important part. Okay and involved are different. They are involved.
Yeah.
I still don't feel right about it because it opens the floodgate for something really scary.
Yeah.
Right? Like, so this is I'm not going to mention the movie because it hasn't come out yet. There's just been things that have leaked. I've heard some stuff from some upcoming movies plural actually, that they do some CGI cameos of dead people. And it's like, I mean, no, thank you.
We got the same thing with like Rogue One, where it's like Grand Moff Tarkin,
and then it went away for
Fisher,
a while, right? Like nobody was doing it anymore. And then there was that James Dean movie that everyone talked about, where they were gonna like.
Did it happen?
No, it did. God, I don't think so. I think it got canceled. And then now it's like this question mark of, are we going to start doing this? Because that's the whole conversation with the Screen Actors Guild right now.
Yeah.
Is whether or not AI should be used to like bring people back after they're dead.
Yeah.
And this is just a different version of that.
Yeah.
And again, it's more complicated because his family is literally there on set going, this is okay. We're okay.
And
with
helping.
This. And helping. But it drives me nuts because I really don't want them to do it. These movies have never been as good as they were with like 5, 6, 7. But I feel weird about it, and I don't like it.
They just have to figure it out.
They have to.
They can't keep doing this. Like they can't keep bringing in his wife and being like, "Oh, Brian's with the kids." You can't keep doing this, guys. We have to do something different.
Like, don't get me wrong. In 9, I thought you found a believable enough way to do it where it's like, it's her brother, so it makes sense that she would be there and he would be with the kids. That, I buy it.
That worked in 9.
I don't, and this, it does not.
Stop doing it.
It does not.
Why would she be protecting the kid instead of Brian? Like, it just doesn't make any sense. My next note is dog bark, because there's this scene. It's where he puts little B or whatever his name is.
Little Brian. Yeah.
Little Brian to bed. And so he's standing there looking over him, and then there's a dog bark, and he like turns and the music gets all serious, and then Letty shows up, and immediately everything goes back to normal. The music shifts back. It is so weird.
Well, don't you
out of left field? It makes no
sense, because that scene happens. They presumably do what they're going to do for the night. And then Cypher pulls up in a car later. Like, it's not like she was stalking us. You see her drive up in her DeLorean.
Yeah. Yeah, her literal DeLorean.
So fucking
Which is
stupid.
Wild.
What are we doing with Cypher, man? Like,
I don't
every
know.
villain, or she's the villain of 8, and I think she's a decent enough villain. Like, I think it's a good change of pace in that movie to have, like, a hacker villain, right? Like somebody who's a bit more smart. Except she's not just smart; she's a fucking bad. Everyone does everything. That's a problem I have with this movie.
Yeah.
Remember in 5 when they made a big deal about, it's like, okay, we all know how to drive cars, but these two are our best. He's our chameleon. He'll go do that.
Yeah.
She's our weapons expert. He's our like tech guy, and Roman's our fast talker. It's like, it's the rules of the heist movie. Everyone has a skill. Now
everyone has every skill.
Now they all do everything.
Everyone's a tech genius. Everyone's a great driver. Everyone's a fucking bomb dismantler. Everybody can do everything. I agree.
It's so frustrating, dude. Like, it ruins the dynamics of these characters.
Right.
Anyway.
My next note is Vin's arms. Okay, like, look, again, I don't want to body shame anyone for any reason. But what I will say is, like, when you're being paid this level of money and I think there is a certain level of expectation of you putting in the work to, to be fit and look like the character that you're playing. And you can just tell, because I remember, that's been a problem in movies past, or at least was a problem for this movie, is it's just clear Vin isn't in shape. It's clear he's not putting in the work.
Well, that's part of why Justin Lin left.
Yeah.
Not the literal in shape, but that was one of the reasons he said he's showing up not in shape, he's showing up not ready, he's showing up not to do his job.
Yeah.
And that's why he left, is it created a bad work environment.
Right.
And so he didn't want to do it anymore.
And she's frustrated because there's this that scene with Cypher right at the very beginning where puts his arms up on and it's they're just mushy. Oh no, it's not that. It's when they're sitting. It's when she's bleeding on the couch.
Yeah.
And he's just is sitting there with her. It's only once later in the movie does he actually
when they're in the armored car and he's
flexing to completely flexing to make it look like he has muscles. But for the rest of the movie, he just looks out of shape.
Yeah, and it's you're stacking him up and showing us not literal on screen together, but you're showing us images of you'll show him and then you'll show fucking John Cena, who's in ridiculous shape. Show Jason Momoa
You'll show images of Vin from previous movies where he is in shape.
Yeah.
And he looks great and he looks like a fucking badass. And in this movie, he just doesn't. And it's again, I don't want to body shame, but it's just clear he's not putting in the work.
No, and I think that's what you and I talked about right after we left, is just that it's look, he is being provided all of these things. He's the producer on the fucking movie. And I didn't notice it as much, but that's also kind of because they cut around it quite a bit. You know what I mean? I don't know. I do agree. It's that comes more to oh, he has to be in crazy, and more to how much does he care anymore?
Right.
Because he, in all of his off times, all he talks about all these spin-offs he wants to do and all these things. But it's you watch this one and his performance and his dedication to it feels so gone. It's a bummer. It's a bummer.
I mean, legitimately, that's one of my notes later is he just feels like he's asleep for the whole movie. It's we get just glimpses of ghost of Vin Diesel past, where it's just one line here, one moment there, where it's okay, now that is Dominic Toretto. But the rest of the time, he's just absolutely sleepwalking through the movie in a way that it's just the least Vin Diesel thing. Because again, we with the thing that we kept mentioning when we did the first episodes was he treats this shit like fucking Shakespeare.
Yeah.
And he is not treating this movie like it's Shakespeare. He is treating this movie like he doesn't want to be here. And and yet at the same time, on the flip side of this, he's the one causing issues on set because he's so controlled.
Anyway, that's the fucking shit. It's I think that comes back to writing too, is the writing feels like it's gotten, I don't even know if self-aware is exactly the right term to throw at it.
Yeah.
Because self-aware is meta humor and shit, and there's that in here in a way, one or two jokes that I'm that's pretty funny. When he's they've defined if there's a law that, or he's they've defined the laws of gravity and God. They've done it twice.
Yeah.
It's oh, that's funny. That's a funny shit, big line that works.
Yeah.
Filmed in the dumbest scene possible, which I'm sure we'll talk about.
We'll get to.
But it's, that's the thing is I just am I'm watching. I'm God damn it.
Yeah.
What happened? When did we lose the thread? Especially because the last one at least had a lot of that back.
Yeah.
A lot of the serious, I don't know, man.
I think the last one did really well about handling the big operatic moments with the levity and the the quippy one-liners that but they treat like Shakespeare.
Yeah.
But it's still I don't know. It's just I don't know. Yeah, yeah.
It's tough. Next note. Let's
the mercenaries in Cypher's base. Man, they have a lot of kids.
Yeah.
These mercenaries really be shacking up with, you know what I mean? They be getting married and settling down for a lot of mercenaries.
I think that bit brings up the bigger issue I have with Dante as a villain.
This scene brings up my biggest issue.
Well, one, she's I met the devil tonight, and it's you met him, he did one thing, and all he did was walk in, blackmail all your people, and walk out. The exact
stab a guy. He stabbed one guy.
The exact thing that she did. It's like, so he's the devil? I'm confused.
I agree.
What you did was worse. Like,
Yeah.
you killed a completely innocent woman in front of her baby. And
Yeah.
like, in one of the like most overly dark scenes ever in a movie.
Yeah.
It's like that. It's that issue. And then like, what does this dude want after this? Like,
Yeah.
Cypher, I get. She wants control and Dom is in her way, or she can use him, right? Like, I get that. It's not deep. It's not great, but
Right.
it's at least understandable.
Yeah.
Like, I can at least get it.
There's an internal logic.
There's an internal, and it's like you pointed out to me, it's like his line, he's like, I just want to make the world suffer, or whatever.
It's like, you want to control the world. I want to punish it.
It's like, no, you don't. You just want revenge on Dom. That's all you're doing.
Yeah. Okay, which leads me to
Okay.
my ultimate thought about this movie. Should they have revealed who Dante was later? Should they have done the flashback at Act 3 and really, like, so the first 2 acts, you have no idea who this dude is. He is just some crazy son of a bitch who is targeting these people, but you don't know who he is or who, like, what, like, so then it kind of, I think that leads a little bit more into this kind of the Joker aspect of, like, hidden motives, wants to create chaos, until he finally reveals it's like, no, I am here to attack you. I am here to get revenge on you for you killing my family.
So you are absolutely correct. I think that is what they should have done.
Because I feel like that's what they would have done.
I think they knew how stupid it was, what they came up with for who this guy was. You know
and they
what I
just
mean?
had to front load it?
And they just had to fucking front load it to steer into the skid a little bit. Because I'll tell you what.
Steering a skid. I like it.
Thank you.
Pun reference.
Definitely
cars.
intentional. I think they had to steer into that somewhat. Because it's dumb who he is.
It's like, because that's the thing is, like, it just would make more sense to me if the reveal was when he goes to the police station. He goes to the police station. He sees the mood board.
They bank on that second one where Ames is the secret villain, where it's like, I don't give a shit though. You know what I mean? I think you're right. They definitely, when he goes to the mood board, they should have, right? Because already the one thing I'll give this movie is, like, it doesn't, well, I'm not going to word it that way. It does shove it in your face. But there are moments where you're like realizing, you're like, oh, this is where this happened and this is where this happened. He's taking us back through. Make that the movie.
Right.
Like,
that's what I'm saying is, like, if it would have just been like him walking through, you know, like we even hit stuff from like 4, you know what I mean? Like the kind of lead up to 5. It's like, you know, the border crossing and the, you know what I mean? If like we like brought us back to some of these moments that led up to 5 and what happened in 5, I feel like it would be way more effective.
Yes. And I wonder if they were just, no, I can't think of a reason, because the only thing I can think is that they'd be like, well, everyone would get, it's like, they really wouldn't have guessed he was the guy driving the minigun car. No one would have thought that. Not a single human being.
Right.
I agree with you.
There's no mention of a son in 5.
And that's the thing is, if you nix that dumb opening and start with the really stupid, like, car drifting into, I guess, touching moment. I don't know. Start there, go to the family. Roman has a mission. Introduce Cypher, right? If you do that, it create, like, it's not as exciting of an opening, but maybe you start with the Cypher scene.
Yeah.
And don't explain who he is, and he's just like,
that
you know
would
what I
have
mean?
been great. Oh, that would have been great.
And take out the line, maybe add one line about referencing he's going after Dom and the family or something, and that leads her to him, but then make a reason for him to want that to happen. You know what I like?
It's like, I feel like it would be even more surprising if he just shows up in Rome.
Yeah.
And you're like, who the fuck is this guy?
Yeah.
The ball shows up and it's so much like the vault
safe,
heist.
yeah.
You know what I mean? And then we go to, you know what I mean? Like, I feel like that would have been way cooler.
Well, see, you have a brain.
I mean, so does Justin Lin, and he was a writer on this.
I think he was also fed up with it. He wants to go do One Punch Man.
Yeah, I mean, I don't blame him.
Yeah. So anyway, I think you're 100% correct.
That is
on
like
that.
my ultimate biggest thought of this entire movie.
Yeah.
Is that there is one plug that is keeping all of Cypher's operation alive. One plug. She kicks the jack on one plug, and everything in the room shuts off. Bruh, that's not how that works.
She's Cypher. She got a plan for everything. I don't know.
True.
I have no justification for that.
There is so much ADR in this movie.
Yes.
There are so many times where somebody turns their back and they give them 2 or 3 extra lines just to be like, there's like one. It's where Clint
Eastwood's son, Scott Eastwood.
Scott Eastwood turns his back and he's like, "We're going to Rome," and then he's like, "You come with me," and it's like none of those lines were needed. We know we were going to Rome, and like as if we needed some justification why the soldier followed.
Can we talk about him too, where like he jumps out of a moving car and rolls a little bit, and then he's never in the movie
and
again?
He's dead. He fucking died.
He's
guys.
not even dead. He's just out of commission.
Scott Eastwood died, and he's fucking dead.
But
man.
like, what the fuck is that?
Baby nobody dead.
Little nobody. God damn
it. Roman bad. Guys, y'all ruined Roman. Y'all really, really, actually, fully ruined Roman at this point.
Yeah.
He's
got like one good scene, honestly.
Which one?
The one where he actually has like a bit of, he backs up with Ludacris, and they have that like actually he's like, look, you've been leading this whole time. It's like it's the one time where I feel like Roman's like a little reserved and a little bit on character.
Because this is the thing, I like Roman, I like Tyrese, I feel like they ruined him.
No, they
everything with that entire B plot of them going to London and stupid fucking aftershave.
They just had to find a reason for them to go to the place that was in number 6.
I mean, fair.
That's it. No, legitimately, that's it. That's the only, because that has nothing to do with any of the plot. And then they had to shoehorn in a cameo with Statham.
Yeah, and fucking what's his face, and Pete Davidson. That it's just like really, it's just it just feels like
you're doing dozens of dollars of damage. It's like that's such a funny sketch joke.
Yeah, it feels. Again, it's like this movie's about family. These movies are about family. And the entire family is apart the entire movie.
I know.
It's like
and then half of them are doing nothing important, and the other half is doing kind of nothing at all. Like
it's like
Dom's going from point A to point B, having an interaction, and then it's like, all right, this is a CGI race we're watching that's not very good.
Yeah. And then you've got Letty doing nothing in Antarctica.
The pacing on that too, where it's like. They'll cut to a scene, and then like 30 minutes later, they'll cut back and nothing has changed for after they're already out of cuffs. It's like, you're like, whoa.
The thing that I also don't understand, it's like, it feels like, what's Dunkirk. Yeah. Where it's like, this movie, this is
Dunkirk!
This takes place over 30 minutes. This takes over 30 hours. This takes over 30 days.
The sub is how he's going to save him. The sub's going to drop in and stop the...
Right. It's just,
God damn
it feels like literally like an hour passes for Letty, and it feels like weeks have gone by for Dom.
Well, and I like, yeah. There's I don't know why there's a time in my head where he's like they're on the bridge and there's that firefight and he like does the whole thing with the car to make it turn and blow up. If you watch that scene, he maybe takes out one guy doing that and then just walks up and shoots the rest. And he's like, that was a pretty cool trick with the car. And it's like,
it's one dude.
Was it? He beat one guy.
It's truly one guy.
Like if that had been the thing that led them to turn it, no, he literally just. It's so poorly staged.
Yeah.
Like,
that first mission in Rome, they're in Chucks and Nikes, and they're like running across the tops of vehicles and like kicking in doors and shit. It's like you're in Nike, you're in fucking Air Jordan, you're fucking on the roof of a fucking moving truck.
So this is my favorite part about the Rome sequence is I'm watching it and I'm watching it. And then they go down this like thing, this like kind of winding road, and they peel out and go down a courtyard and turn up. So they come out of the thing and they turn left and they go up the road. And then later in the sequence, they wind up at the Spanish Steps.
Yeah.
And he drifts down them or whatever. The road they turn up drives you past the Spanish Steps at the bottom.
Yeah.
I know this because I went to Italy.
Humble brag.
Early last year, I was in Italy. So it's the funniest thing in my entire life to lean over to my brother and be like, the geography's not right on this, but it's Italy. It's Rome. I was like, that makes no sense how that's there. And that, well, if you go that, there's nowhere for a car to drive past it. It was the funniest moment of my entire life to be like, oh my God.
If they shoot a Fast and Furious scene in Garland, Texas, bet your ass I'd be clocking those mistakes.
We're like, what the hell?
They couldn't be doing that on Broadway.
That's not where the roller rink is.
You're going down Broadway in one scene, then you're on fucking Rome the next. That's not how it works.
Doesn't make a single lick of sense. None at all.
They say they're on First Street, but actually they're on fucking Jupiter. It's like, I don't think that's how it works.
This is not, no. This is not my Fast and Furious. No, thank you.
Not my Garland.
Yeah.
There are only like a few visual elements that I even remotely like, and there are a few shots in there that I actually enjoyed, and I was like, oh, that was actually kind of cool. There are these kind of like wide angle, kind of low angle handheld shots that just feel fucking dangerous in a really cool way. You know, so like the car will like spin out and the tail of the car will just be inches from the front of the lens. I was like, that felt dangerous and cool, and it felt like really real and handheld. I was like, and that is like it.
Everything.
There's a few of those shots in there that I like. Everything else in there I was like either bored by or actively did not care for.
Yeah.
Specifically, one of the things I don't like is the use of the FPV drone. There's a few uses of it, and it's just like, guys, enough with the drones.
The problem with drone footage is it's exactly, you know what it is. Like immediate, like look, don't get me wrong, like ambulance has a couple fun uses of the drone.
Yeah.
But you know what?
But that's also footage. Like part of the visual language of that movie. It's like I there's been so much behind the scenes footage from that movie being like, oh, we're using FPV drone technology,
and they're using it. The way they use it in that one is they literally have it fly under a car that jumps off a ramp and it goes it's like real actual stunt work going in. Like
no, it's literally for the FPV drones in here. It's just like fast and it just circles quick.
Yeah.
It's like that's all it does. It's not doing anything cool or dangerous or giving us a new perspective. It's just a faster perspective on something we've already seen before. Yeah. So it's just like, what's the point? I don't know. I'm really kind of done with all this drone stuff, especially like as like somebody, who's into the videography scene and that kind of stuff. It's like people are so fucking obsessed with drones in a way that like makes me want to pull my hair out. The CGI in this movie is truly terrible.
Yeah, I honestly don't. There's not much to say. It's fucking bad.
It's like wild. Like it's like actually, because it's like there are scenes where and I mean this in the most disrespectful way possible, I can't tell what's CGI and what's real because
there's scenes where there's no reason for it to be CGI and you can just kind of be like, wait.
It's like I know there are real elements, but they're so smothered with CGI, I can't tell what's real anymore. I can't tell if that car is real or not because it looks so fake.
The scene when he drifts down the aforementioned Spanish Steps, which again, I need to reiterate, geography does not make sense. Guys, I'll draw a map. It pulls down a board like, so we're here, right here. When he's down the Spanish Step is like some of the worst CGI I've ever seen since CGI was invented and got like good. You know what I mean? Like obviously it's better than the first uses of it of all time.
Yeah.
What happened to CGI?
Yeah.
Do you remember, like, look, I'm going to evoke the name of the Transformers movies, but the CGI in the Transformers movies is like fucking good.
Yeah, no, it's like
Avatar, fucking good.
Yeah.
What happened? I mean, I get it. Oversaturation.
Yeah.
But it's so rare to have a movie that come out and be like, fuck, this is like photoreal.
Yeah. You've got your Dunes.
Yeah.
You got your Way of Waters.
Yeah. Top Gun Maverick.
Your Top Gun Maverick.
And even though,
but again, that's so it's used so sparingly and so well.
It's used completely strategically. Like again, the new Mission Impossible, the jump he's doing, it's like it's hilarious because all of it's real, but they like CGI'd out the ramp he jumps off of, and they CGI'd in a new bottom. But the stunt he's doing is real, and it sells completely. Because you ask yourself, you're like, why are you putting something new at like
the subject of the scene is real.
Yeah.
The setting around him is fake. That's how to do it right.
Even then, I wouldn't even go.
Pieces of the
augmented, right?
Augmented,
like,
yes.
And
yes,
it's still like with Top Gun Maverick. I'm pretty sure a lot of the stuff they would replace in the background is still real footage.
Oh yeah,
they would just they would impose it over for the cinematic quality. Where it's like I can't fly a plane here, but this looks great. Yeah. So let's put that in.
It's
real plane, real thing, just not together.
It's details. Yeah. You're adding in elements that need to be added, taking away elements that need to be taken away, but so much of it is still real.
Perfect example.
Layering real things on top of each other.
Perfect example in Top Gun Maverick, when the planes are flying and he flies up through them and they peel off. The plane flying up is real. These two flying like this are real, but they're two separate things comped together to do the impossible for real.
Yes.
it fucking everyone just do that. Like,
Guys, take some notes.
be like my boy Shane here. And
I've
take
got the
some
notes for you.
notes.
Bike jump cool.
The bike jump is sick.
bike jump is cool where lady goes
One of
over
the
the
few
little-
like real stunts.
Yeah, and I was like, all right, that was badass.
It's sick, dude. It's
Yeah.
such a good stunt.
Legitimately, the only person who has any good action in this movie is Letty.
Yeah, she's got good, a pretty solid fight scene.
The fight between her and Cypher, super fun.
Well, dude, she's had a pretty good year too. Because Dungeons and Dragons, I think she's really good in.
Yeah,
She's a lot of fun in that movie.
I didn't even think about that. Yeah, no, like fucking, yeah.
I like Michelle Rodriguez quite a bit.
I love Michelle.
She's cool.
I have been in love with that woman since Lost. Shout out.
I always forget she's in Lost.
Bike jump cool. Okay, so the B team are like trudging through the sewers and stuff, and then they come out and see the big explosion.
Oh my God.
And why do they come out of the Legend of the Hidden Temple? There's that scene. They come out of the sewer, and it literally looks like something out of Indiana Jones.
It looks like it's from Temple Run.
It doesn't.
And
look
I mean that graphically. The graphics are like it's from Temple Run.
It doesn't look Italian at all. It looks very like it
Like
looks
South-
like Tomb Raider.
Yeah.
Like it is bizarre. Anyway, agency bad. I don't care about the agency. Shut the fuck up about the agency.
Patrick Willems had that was his whole review of the movie. He was essentially like, this was fun when they brought them in for one movie. Let's get them out of here. Let's just get them gone.
I don't give a shit about Mr. Nobody's extended family. I don't need the Mr. Nobody extended universe. I don't need it. I don't need the agency. I don't need Baby Nobody. I don't need Bree Nobody.
like don't get me wrong. I like Scott Eastwood okay. Like I like him okay. Not in these movies, just Scott Eastwood.
Oh, I like Scott Eastwood. I do not like him in these movies.
Yeah,
In
that's
this one specifically.
but they give him fucking nothing to do. Like,
I agree.
He
Don't get me
could have
wrong.
fit in with this cast really
agree.
well, but they
I
just
agree.
don't. And it's like Mr. Nobody was fun because it was Kurt
Mr.
Russell.
Nobody was
because
great.
it was Kurt Russell. Like
Mr. Nobody is great. The agency bad and the agency extended universe bad.
Yeah.
And Brie Larson is truly awful in this movie. I like Brie Larson. Boy howdy, I do not like her in this movie.
I don't think she does action particularly well. I think she's at her best in like dramas, and I think she's very funny. I think she can do comedy quite well too.
It's like I just like sticks out like a sore thumb in this.
She doesn't match up with everyone. But again, that's part of what they've given her to do. They don't really blend her at all. She doesn't really make sense in this at all. Like,
yeah, I think it's a little column B
Yeah.
for me specifically. I don't think they give her anything good, and I also don't think what they give her she does well with.
yeah.
Yeah, like she doesn't elevate the material at all.
Mm-hmm.
She's very much playing on the bad material that she's given. Yeah, man, it's like sad because I fucking like Brie Larson.
Yeah.
And yeah, that scene where they're in the fucking Tron, like wherever the fuck.
The fucking agency war room or whatever the fuck we're calling it. Like literally they walked in and I went,
Oh yeah,
Like-
me and Jordan in the theater fucking laughed when they opened.
oh dude, you know the single funniest shot in this entire movie?
What?
Can you guess it?
It's not coming to my.
The split diopter shot. There's
You're
a
not
fucking
wrong.
diagonal split diopter.
It is
It
the
is
worst.
so bad.
It is the
and
worst,
so
most
pretentious.
noticeable. Yeah, it is the worst, most noticeable split diopter I've ever seen, and I've seen some noticeable split diopters, guys.
Dude, it's bad.
It is.
It's like
truly terrible.
it's fucking rough.
It-
Like
I can't believe it. I can't believe that made it into the film.
I know.
I don't know who that DP is, but he needs. Well, maybe that was fucking the director dude because I don't like him or his movies.
Yeah, he was like the most boring choice, and he signed on to do the next one. So the
Which
next
makes
one,
me want to blow my.
yeah,
fucking
which
brains out.
won't even be prepped by Justin Lin. So that's
Yeah.
great.
If Chris Morgan isn't writing ever, like if he has stopped writing these,
He's
movies,
out, dude. He's not writing it. No
I
way.
will. I honestly, I think these movies are lost at this point. I think
They
they're
are.
lost cause.
They are. I'll say it now. They just are. Like they've had too many chances to like rise from the ashes.
That dude hates barbecue.
Yeah.
What? That's how you know he's evil.
Yeah.
You should have guessed it right then that dude was going to have a villain turn when he said he hates barbecue. What's wrong with you? What's wrong with you?
Yeah.
You ever been to Texas? You ever had Franklin's? I don't think you have.
Look, and that dude is the epitome of I skipped leg day.
That's so fucking true.
Don't even get me wrong. I like him all right. I like the actor, right? I've seen him in one or two things.
Oh, fuck.
But he is just so...
Got me. That one got
He's
me.
just so fucking buff,
He's
but also such a
stupid.
triangle.
He is stupid jacked.
Yeah.
Maybe not necessarily in this. Have you seen other photos of him? If you look him up, if you just Google him,
Yeah.
there are shots of him with his shirt off, and he is stupid buff.
Yeah.
I can't
He plays in Titans, the HBO DC show.
I think the thing he's most known for now is
Reacher.
Reacher.
Yeah, which I need to watch. I've heard it's pretty decent.
I know somebody who really likes that show.
Yeah,
because he's a huge fan of the books.
Yeah.
He's like, man, now this show gets it. Like,
Yeah.
like the way that the way that he described it, he was like, when I read them the first time, I had a picture, I had an image of what this town looked like, what this guy looked like, who these people were.
Mm-hmm.
And this show, more than any other show I've ever seen, perfectly replicated what I had in my mind.
which is so cool.
Super
That's
high
very
praise
cool,
and
yeah.
really cool. So
nothing on him. I don't mean to be mean to him.
oh,
but,
I also
but the way they shoot him in this movie,
Yeah.
he looks like a triangle. He's
Yeah,
so fucking
really
buff with such skinny legs.
true. I am so
Come on the pod. I like you a lot. You're fun.
Come on the pod. I am so tired of God's Eye.
Yeah, get rid of God's Eye.
Get rid of God's Eye. Can somebody just fucking snap that SD
Dude,
card?
just retcon that shit and don't bring it up. That's all I need. I don't.
Just somebody break it. Just somebody break it. Somebody can Cypher put in a fucking code.
Well,
to
that's the
internet.
problem, dude. Is they literally the first fucking time the 8, right? They immediately Cypher knows how to combat God's Eye till she needs it, and she shows up and gets it, and it's like, okay,
Could we just?
yeah, dude.
Enough with God's Eye. It's too much of a central plot point. It's like, okay, so I think there are movies that do this well and there's movies that do bad. Like John Wick 4, I think does this great. Where it's like they have this body armor that they can't shoot through in 3, and so they have to keep he has to innovate and get smarter and like get bigger, better, badder guns until a point where he's like shooting the way he needs to actually kill the people in the armor. In the next movie, they still have that armor. He's just used to it now and knows how to fight against it.
So he knows he has to get up close and like take him down and then fire. Like
I think that's done really well.
Yeah.
And this movie, they're just like, oh no, the bad guy has God's eye, so he knows where everybody is all the time. He's gonna find your family with it.
Honestly, guys, felt like he already knew where everybody was.
Yeah,
the whole time.
It kind of feels like he has enough goons and/or money to figure it out.
Yeah.
I don't think it's that hard to find where
No.
Dom's son is.
No.
Especially, anyways, I'm really, really, really tired of God's Eye. I'm tired of the agency. I'm tired of God's Eye. Enough.
Make these so much less in the sci-fi department. Like, let's back this shit up.
My next note, which we already discussed, is where's Brian? Where's Brian? There's no excuse. Like where is
No,
he?
they keep writing plots in which it's like, no, this time we need it, but he's not. We've talked about that to death. Like, it's just.
My next note is John Cena has to Cena. Like,
I want a shirt that says that.
John
though.
Cena has to Cena. Like, I think he's fun in this, but he is just nothing like he was in the last movie.
Well, dude,
he's just John Cena in this movie in a way that's like, it's enjoyable because I think he's super charismatic, funny, cool, good on screen. I love John Cena. He just isn't the same character at all.
It's like they watched Suicide Squad and Peacemaker and went, "Oh, he can do comedy.
Just do that."
But it's like you're forgetting the scene where in Peacemaker where he's like crying and like giving such just a powerful performance. Like you're forgetting the moment in that movie where he's like genuinely broken up about the fact that he has to fight Rick Flag, somebody he admires. Like,
you know what would have been cool if he was still this hard ass that he was in the previous movie, still has a bulletproof exterior, but little B breaks through that.
yeah.
That would have been way
And
better.
that's why he does what he does. You know, that's why he sacrifice.
Yeah.
No one dies in these movies, but it's why he
He's
sacrifices
not
himself.
dead. If ever before I've seen somebody who's like, oh, he didn't die. it was that one.
And I think you and I talked about it a little bit. It's like they definitely wrote in an excuse if they can't schedule that properly. But
if he doesn't want to come back,
or they can't afford for him to come back,
or they can't fix the schedule, then they have an out. But yeah, it's like I feel like they super missed an opportunity there, where it's like they just had to let Cena. Mm-hmm. And again, good fun Cena is good Cena. But again, like he's a good actor. Like they could have given some, and especially since he's completely different. It's like let him get there through the movie, through Little B, like working. You know what I mean?
No. That would take character development and writing.
Yep.
That's not. Nitrous oxide, dude. What do you mean? Like, just,
fucking hit the nos. He hit the nos on emotional development in between movies.
In between movies. Yeah, you got it. You figured it out.
See, but that's the thing is, if it's me, I'm like Dom, and he's like Brian, and I'm like, too early. Because he should have done it in the movie.
Fucking, that's funny. That's a good one.
Did you like that?
Yeah, that's good.
Dante is a bad name. Dante's dumb. That's a bad name.
It's so Italian.
It's so on the nose.
Yeah.
Because he's the devil. Dante's Inferno. Anyways. The necklace. Why in God's fucking name would Dom give her the necklace? No, he would not do that.
To show to Letty. No, I agree with you completely. You're like...
Because she shows her the necklace.
And then walks away with it.
And then immediately... The thing that actually gets her on board is her telling her about the scar.
Yep.
Because she doesn't believe the necklace. So what was the point?
Yep. Yeah. Can you tell we don't like... Look, I don't
What was the point?
I don't like being negative on this podcast. I really want this to be about learning and growing through these. We just are fucking I specifically Fast and Furious freak, and this one fucking disappointed me.
These movies can be so much better.
Yeah.
Like they have been... The best one in the franchise is the fifth one.
Yeah.
They are clearly capable of growing and getting better. And so there's just been this like reversion in the weirdest way. Look, and it's so sad because like this franchise means so much to a lot of people.
Yeah.
And like they have
to the film industry.
Truly. They have done some truly wonderful, they've had some truly wonderful emotional moments in these movies that like they are doing those things. They are doing a disservice to the people that have been in these movies, and I am including Paul Walker. It's like they're doing him a disservice with how bad this movie is because it feels lazy. You know what I mean?
That's...
and nothing about these movies in the past have felt fucking lazy, but this one has felt... this one and like... I also have my issues with like Hobbs and Shaw, but that one's like different.
Yeah, Hobbs and Shaw is... Look, Hobbs and Shaw is what it is. That was given to The Rock, and The Rock did exactly what he always does.
Yeah.
These movies have always... Like, that's the thing is we needed to get him out of here because he was doing The Rock things.
Yeah.
And all of that shit stayed, and it's so frustrating.
To that end, I'm going to start going through these quick.
Yeah,
John Cena fucks. Man, that man, he's one handsome motherfucker.
No,
he's
John
one
Cena,
handsome
dude,
motherfucker.
you need to watch... We need to watch Peacemaker soon for an episode. He's genuinely wonderful in that show, and that show is great.
That smile.
Yeah.
Ooh-wee. Okay. The jail cell door is cool.
Yeah.
Music video. This movie is edited like a music video.
Oh,
and
when you get us into Brazil, it's like...
That is specifically why I brought this up. No sets, all stages.
Yep.
All of these everything in this movie is a freaking stage, is a sound stage. Nothing
other than a lot of the stuff in Italy, which I know they filmed whatever they filmed to an extent. Well, no, because I'm telling you, my cousin was in Italy and he saw the cars drive past.
Oh, interesting. Okay,
yeah.
I'd be fascinated to know how much of the.
I'm sure
so much of it doesn't feel like it's
exactly. It's like it's filmed in Italy to the extent of what they actually filmed. Stuff is what I mean by that.
Yeah. Ratcatcher. That's fun.
Yeah, dude. I want her to have the biggest career. She's so good.
She's great.
She's in Guardians 3, you know?
Hell yeah.
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 She's the person he's like, Quill is going to do. He's like, I'm going to turn on the old Star-Lord.
That's Ratcatcher?
That's her.
I don't think I recognized her in that.
That's her.
Oh, shit. Shout out. All right. Rio feels like the climax. That feels like the emotional climax of the movie. where he
yeah.
faces off and it's like the streets. Like that feels like the emotional.
Let's race. It's like
that. It would be so fucking cool if this movie ended on a street race as the climax of the movie. Instead of this big stupid action scene, went kind of back to the basics of this franchise and was about a street race. Like literally, it isn't a physical fight. It is like a mental and emotional fight by the end.
I agree with that.
I thought that would have been badass. And so I liked a lot about that scene. It also has literally one of the coolest shots in the entire movie where it goes through the car windows. You know, all three of the
while they're racing.
No, right at the very beginning before the race starts. It like goes through each of the windows right before.
Where it's backing up, that shot that's in the trailer?
Yeah. I love that shot. I thought that was fucking cool. I like a lot about that scene, and it just feels like it should have been the climax of the movie.
Yeah.
And it just wasn't.
Yeah.
Or at least the setup to it felt like it could have been the climax, especially since it's like literally it's Dom and his nemesis facing off. It's like just feels like a weird, and he's just like, so he saves Ratcatcher, and then fucking Dante just drives off. I won, Monica, because he does that at one.
Preach.
And that has to be a reference to that, like, right?
Yeah, I hope so.
Because
then you know they actually saw the other movies,
right? And that's the funny thing is, like, I think this one has some of the same issues as number 2 in a weird way. Like it feels, but I like Too Fast, Too Furious.
I like Too Fast, Too Furious quite a bit. It's a fun
movie. That scene with Dante and the dead people, is that too much? That felt like a lot.
It felt pointless.
It just felt pointless and super out of place.
Yeah.
Like I was just like, what? Wow. All right. So this guy's that kind of fucked up. Okay. Yeah. Can you fly with a kayak? Can I just walk in, be in the lobby of an airport and fly with a kayak?
Well, he checked it, so maybe.
I guess he did check it, didn't he?
He did check it.
Could you check a kayak?
I think you can.
Because he's just got that big old huge foot. Well, I mean, it's not a kayak; it's kayak shaped. But it's
a plane.
It's a fucking it's a fucking rocket. Let's be real. The dude, the big muscly, the triangle man. He's just a less sweaty Rock. He's the Rock, but he's less sweaty.
Yeah, Ames. Yeah, you know they offered that role to Keanu Reeves.
I'm sorry. I just blacked out for a second. Did you just say something? I didn't hear you.
Yeah, they offered that role to Keanu Reeves. Blacks out. Can you imagine how awful that would have been? Keanu's better. He's too good for it.
I mean, he really is.
Like, that's the problem. Throw Keanu in like a Fast 5 quality, fucking awesome.
If you would have, especially with that weird turn he has at the end, that would have like truly ruined it.
Yep.
Fucking the muffin. All right.
The muffin, fucking Han gets high and it's so stupid.
Why do the vents work like that in the weird Antarctic?
Yeah, how does she fucking... Again, the sci-fi bullshit needs to go away.
Why is the control panel that close to where her hand is? The handcuffs.
Those would be on separate. Like there would be so much that. It's dumb.
It's just dumb.
It's dumb,
guys. It's just dumb.
It's like I get it. She's good with tech, but Jesus Christ, you already had a built-in thing where the Brie Larson was going to get her out. So why doesn't she just glitch it out for him and cause something?
I don't know.
So much fucking bullshit.
The Letty fight kind of rules.
The Letty fight's good.
I actually really liked that. I thought that was a lot of fun and cool.
Take out the weird like sci-fi
the stupid
laser.
Fucking enough with the lasers.
It's like you take that out and it's a really solid fight.
Straight.
It's fun.
Second unit be going crazy on this movie. The second unit, man, that second unit director was having a great time getting these shots.
Wasn't it the DP?
I don't know. I don't know if he was the second unit director and DP for the second unit. I thought about that after I said that. We going crazy though, man. He be getting them shots of Rio, looking real good.
Yeah.
Why does what's his name? Ames? Is that his name? Why does his shirt have a buckle?
Yeah, I was wondering because I kept looking down to see if it was like a holster, but it's not.
It's just supposed to look like one.
Yeah, but he wears multiple different shirts too, and they all have it.
Oh,
yeah.
I thought it was the same
Or he's just too buff and you can't see the gun tucked in his arm.
He's that buff. The gun looks that small.
Yeah, like
Smirnoff equals rocket fuel.
Yep.
Same. I agree. That's definitely a fact. This is me reiterating the family reveal should happen later.
Yeah.
Like especially that scene where he's looking at the mood board. We're on to my second page at this point. Well, technically this is the third page and last page. Yeah, that just should have happened later. It just should have happened later.
It's just fundamental storytelling. Like,
yeah, asking too much. I know. Vin is just asleep. Like he is just asleep in this movie.
Nobody would. It's like, God damn, Vin, try at all.
Yeah. He is just asleep.
It's like he has like one or two really good moments. He's like, you made one mistake.
Yeah.
You didn't take my car.
Best line in the movie. Best line in the movie.
Fucking great.
Best moment in the movie, maybe?
Potentially.
And
then he drives off and I'm like,
yeah, and then it turns into
the fucking arm shot where he like CGI's up his arm as he's like,
oh, the best part of the fucking movie right there.
Fucking so stupid.
Just Antarctica.
The fucking text in this is like,
dude. ADR. I rewrote it because I was like, man, every other line in this movie is ADR. Brie Larson in her little blue pantsuit, being all cute in her little blue pantsuit with her little studded little tennis shoes.
she's serving.
She's serving. Oh, she's definitely serving. Like she is serving fucking cunt in that scene specifically. She is serving cunt in that, which I'm here for. I think Brie Larson is beautiful and the cute little pantsuit. Roman is so emotional. He's just so emotional. I love that. I love that in a man. I love an emotionally available man. I don't know. I just kind of hate what they did with Roman in this movie.
Yeah.
And so I was just memeing on the notes at this point. The rocket, the like rocket car, the RPG car. I don't know. I thought that was kind of cool.
Yeah, it's fun.
It's kind of cool.
The big old truck that shoots missiles. Cannon car.
Yeah.
That's cool.
That's cool. I like that. That
Very
was fun.
Fast and Furious
Very
bullshit.
Fast and
you know what I
Furious.
mean?
I was into it.
It also feels like so gearheady too. It doesn't feel like sci-fi. It feels like some fucking dude built. I literally leaned over to my brother and went, "He's got a bad cave." And he pulled the thing out the car. He's like, "He's got a Batmobile."
Dude, what I thought when he pulled off the thing, I was like, "Is that the fucking M1 or Mark 1 Iron Man suit under there?" That's what it looks like. The Mark 1
That's so funny.
Iron Man suit. Little B is a murderer. He murders people in this movie. He shoots the rockets and kills multiple people with rockets.
Yeah, you got to do what you got to do.
I know. It's just funny to think that child murdered people in this movie. Like
technically, it was self-defense, so it's manslaughter. He's a manslaughterer.
Oh, okay. He's a man who slaughters.
Yeah. A boy who slaughters.
No way Cena is dead. Well, we discussed this. The helicopters, all right, that's some Fast and Furious bullshit right there.
Yeah.
Hits him with the car, he's like, my turn.
Yeah.
all right.
Fast and Furious bullshit.
That's some Fast and Furious bullshit. See, like, it's like there's glimpses of fun, stupid bullshit that I can get on board with that I actually really like.
It's like when fucking, what's his bucket, when Momoa's like, did you hit me with a helicopter?
Yeah.
Hilarious.
Great.
Like,
you never took my car.
Best line
in the movie. Cutscene ass CGI shit. That scene where he's like going down hits the fucking down the arm thing.
Terrible. God damn it.
It hits the NOS and fucking the car has like nuclear fusion and blasts blue flames out the fucking tailpipe. It's like, God, it like legitimately reminded me of Too Fast, Too Furious, where it had all that like crummy, weird, like flowy, weird CGI during the like NOS sequences.
Yeah,
it reminded me of that.
Yeah.
So right at the end of the movie, right before the tidal wave hits them, he like sets up. I'm like, is he gonna punch the water?
I loved that. I thought that was so fucking funny. He's like,
he's gonna fucking punch the water.
Great.
Can no one die?
No.
Is no one allowed to die?
Well, sorry. The people can die, just not if they have a failed DC project. Then they come back to life.
Literally. Literally.
Which brings me to the thing I want to talk about. So fucking bad.
My last note is The Rock looks old.
Okay, thank you for bringing up The Rock. The Rock came back! Dude, the shit that was said, how fucking awkward Instagram and Twitter were for a while.
Dude.
Holy shit. He came back, guys.
That's how you know how much pride he had to swallow.
Dude.
He's like, I guess I'm not who
This
I thought I
man
was.
banked. He bet the fucking farm on Black Adam and lost.
He bet everyone's farms.
Yeah.
He's like a fucking shady businessman who's like, if you sign right here, our farms will be put together and we'll all earn extra money. It's like, no. And then lost, literally bet everyone's farms.
God
Everyone
damn.
in the entire DC bet all of their farms on his fucking movie, and it utterly failed. And the sad part is, Black Adam's fine.
Black Adam is dumb
fine.
and stupid and fun.
It's fine. It's weird how much it blew up on everyone.
Yeah.
Because I was like, I don't know, it was like enjoyable.
No, and it was the first time The Rock felt like he was playing a character in a decade.
Right.
Which is the cool part. That's the part I like.
Just playing The Rock.
Yeah. So look, the fact that he's fucking back is hilarious, and he does look old, which is I don't know a choice, but fun.
I also like legitimately when that scene started, I was like, this better not fucking be Brian.
Oh, I recognize the gun.
Oh really?
Yeah,
That's
his like
hilarious.
really weird not weird, like giant revolver that
That
looks
is hilarious.
futuristic a little bit.
That
Yeah,
is
I saw his
hilarious.
gun and was like, oh, it's The Rock. Plus, I knew I had it spoiled that he was back, and so the post-credit scene happened, and I was like, but then he whips out the gun, and I was like, oh, it's The Rock. Okay, yeah, like that's actually what it was actually true. But I don't care. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Watch it just set up Hobbs and Shaw too. He's not even in 11 and potentially 12.
Yeah.
God damn it. Okay.
What are your thoughts on Jason Momoa on Dante?
I kind of want to stay out of it a little bit.
I just don't like it in the same way everyone else did.
I haven't seen any negative thoughts on the portrayal of a character
Everyone
like this.
fucking loves it. Everyone loves it, and it just doesn't sit well with me.
I enjoyed it, but it's because I enjoy Momoa, and this was a very different Momoa.
I agree with
Momoa.
that. He's clearly having a fucking blast, and they are giving him so much fun garbage to do. So it's like from that perspective, I really liked him. He just felt so fucking out of place in this franchise.
Yeah.
It's like in a way that it's like it's actually kind of refreshing, but at the same time, it's just I don't know, man.
I think you dial back 10% on that and add 10% of everything else to me, and maybe 15%. I liked most of the bounce. I think you take out that weird scene where he's playing with the dead people, and that does a lot too. You remove that. Because there's a lot of moments like I love when he's like, maybe we all just start shooting each other, and he's like, he's got these little
licking the blade,
licking
like
the fucking
that,
blade.
that kind of
well,
shit.
that's the other thing is he's like a total badass, and the second he fights Dom, he gets the shit kicked out of him, and he calls him a butthole, which is hilarious.
Yeah.
That line's great. He's like, "You butthole," and throws his tooth at him. It's very funny to me.
Yeah.
I liked him. I thought he was a cool villain. I do agree, he maybe belonged in a different movie.
Yeah.
But I think this movie is so inconsistent. It's like would have been weird if there was a tonally accurate villain in it.
It's like I wish instead of him being like, and I just wish he wasn't as the Joker as he was. Like I wish they would have peeled back some of the comedy, the like silly, goofy, like like almost like gender fluid kind of thing that they're doing with him.
Yeah.
I wish they would have peeled that back a little bit and pump up the like scary, insane
Those
part
moments
of it.
when he gets serious.
Yeah,
which
like
they again that's
licking the blood and that kind of like that's
him
crazy.
dragging
and,
the bodies in and dropping them.
yeah, like I wish there was a little bit more of that, and because like we have had a lot of like badass, I am strong, muscly weirdo, like just like stoic monster.
Yeah.
It's like and so I don't want that. I don't want John Cena in F9. I don't want
The Rock in 5.
yeah, or Statham in
in
7. Like I don't want that. I feel like there's a middle ground where he isn't like as like jokey comedy Joker chaos,
Yeah.
and a little bit more like insane badass.
I do agree with that. They needed to find more moments to make me really scared of him, as opposed to letting him be a charisma machine.
yeah. Which again, like it's like
And
fun
he
to
is like, don't get me wrong,
watch.
Jason Momoa is a charisma machine.
Yeah.
He's excellent. He's a good actor who is just oozing with charisma. Like,
Yeah.
they just played into that too much.
I feel like a different director could have possibly like seen that potential and been able to turn the dial up and down.
Justin Lin, perhaps.
Possibly. And like, just like have somebody there who like would be willing to see the potential that there is, but like bring it back where it's needed and pump it up where it's needed. Where it just, he feels like almost like one note. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
like,
I
he's
can
kind of
definitely
doing
see
the
that.
same thing the whole time.
Yeah.
Except for like some very, occasionally, but at the same time, he also feels different a lot of the time. You know what I mean? That first scene, the very first scene at Cypher's compound or whatever, it's like he doesn't really feel the same there as he does in Rio, as he does at the dam, as he does. You know what I mean? Like he feels like he's just kind of, I don't know, in a way that doesn't feel like he's like, crazy and like, going through different emotional states or whatever. It just feels like he's just not consistent.
Yeah. I agree with all that. I think I liked him a little more than you did. But I understand everything you're saying, and I think all those, again, it's like moving that scene later. It's just like just dialing it in, knowing when to reveal things, knowing when to be fun versus when to be menacing was important here, and they just didn't do that at all.
Yeah.
Anyway,
do you have any other main thoughts on him?
I just, not on him. No, not really even on the movie. I think we covered everything. I just am frustrated with it. I love these movies. Like, I unironically love these movies, and it's just bad. Like,
yeah, like I said, I think if Justin Lin isn't attached and Chris Morgan isn't attached, I truly feel these movies are lost.
Yeah.
Like, because what is there? It's like, it's Vin, and he's clearly not putting in the work that he needs to while also being super controlling.
Yeah.
And then like Justin Letier or whatever his name is, the director. And because like that's the thing is like I've seen
The Incredible Hulk.
I've seen The Incredible Hulk. I've seen like at least one of the Transporters movies. I don't know which one.
Titan, the Wrath of the Titans, and
it's like he's just like I've never seen a movie that I actually like really even enjoyed of his.
Yeah.
So it's like I'm really, really scared for the future of these movies that I now deeply care about, and again, like I said earlier, it's like, the best movie in this franchise is the fifth one. They are clearly capable of improving and like finding what works. And it's like, the fifth one is fucking great, and the sixth one's still good, and the seventh one has has the biggest, most emotional moment in the entire franchise, while still also being a good movie.
Yeah.
And then like it has just stumbled over and over and over again with like a little bit of a blip in 9 of like, oh shit, like are we back? Are we back a little bit?
Yeah.
And then 10 just feels
so low
depths.
effort.
Yeah.
Like, look, and if we're just like, that's my lesson, is like, look, craft is important.
Yeah.
And the craft of writing is important. The craft of acting is important. And it feels like all of these people are more into the like marketing and showmanship side of this now, that it's like, let's go to Rome. That's marketable. It's like everything they're doing has nothing to do with actual craft or care or dedication. It's all about just like, it's the saga. It's like, no, dude, stop fucking marketing this as the Fast Saga. Like, make a good movie.
Yeah. No,
that's
I agree.
my lesson, is just really back to basics, play with the craft.
It feels like they're more trying to be an MCU more than they're trying to be trying to make good Fast and Furious movies.
Yes.
It feels like they're trying to make a big franchise that makes a lot of money. Without even remote, because like that's the crazy part, is the people who have the most control or like it's like Vin Diesel, who cares so much about this shit, and he's also part of the problem. You know what I mean? Like, that's the part that's like incredibly frustrating about it, is like he is the best and worst thing about this movie.
Yeah.
I don't know, man.
Anyway, frustration aside, do we have a B segment?
We do.
Okay.
So we're talking about franchises. We're talking about series with lots of movies. Today we're going to be talking about some of the most famous live-action English language movies or franchises with 10 or more installments. So we're going to do a little bit of a game up front, and then I'll just probably shift to just essentially being like, did you know kind of stuff. So these are all movies that are English language that are popular franchises in some way, shape, or form that have had an installment in the last 20 years. So there are 4 franchises that I think fit that description that have 10 installments. Can you name one of those franchises?
In the last 20 years, they've
had an installment.
Oh, Halloween.
And this is also, I'm saying just 10. Exactly 10.
Oh, that's different. Okay. Oh,
this one will be hard, but the next one I think will be easier.
Does Star Wars count? No, because there's more than 10, right?
Yes, there are more than 10.
Halloween, I think, has more than 10.
I don't think you'll get this one. There might be one that you get. I'm including like remakes in this. Like it doesn't have to be one continuation, a continuous story. It just has to be in the same franchise.
Not positive I know then if it's
there are
some of these horror ones.
There are 2 franchises that I know you've seen several installments of.
It's not Bond. There's too many in Bond.
No.
Not enough Mission Impossible.
I'll narrow it down even further. They are both horror franchises.
The Conjuring?
Nope. Good guess.
Damn. Horror. It's not that. It's not that. It's not Insidious. They're both horror franchises.
Do you want me to give you one more hint?
Yeah.
You may have mentioned one of these franchises literally yesterday.
Did we talk yesterday?
Or the day before? We talked yesterday, didn't we? I don't know.
No, I came in and I went to bed.
But before that, you were there earlier in the day. Oh, it must have been the day before then. It had to have been the day before.
Mm-hmm.
You may have let somebody borrow.
Saw. There are 10 Saw.
There are 10 Saw movies.
Oh God. Okay. Yeah.
Okay. So that's one. I
bought Jigsaw for a bit.
There are 4 franchises that have 10 installments. It is Children of the Corn. There
are 10 children.
There are 10 Children of the Corn. Hellraiser. There are 10 Hellraiser
I wouldn't have
movies.
guessed 10, but it makes sense now that I'm thinking about how many fucking weird spin-offs there are.
This is maybe the cheapest one of all of these. Well, I think Children of the Corn actually is. The Man from U.N.C.L.E. There have been 10 The Man from U.N.C.L.E. movies. The only reason this movie that this even remotely fits in my description is
the Guy Ritchie one.
the Guy Ritchie one. Before that, it hadn't been made. There hadn't been one made in at least a couple decades.
Weird.
So yeah, The Man from U.N.C.L.E. Okay, 11. There are 3 franchises, 3 huge franchises with 11 installments.
Star Wars?
Can you? Yes, that is one. Can you guess another one?
Halloween.
No.
No. Is it Friday the 13th?
No.
That one has more than 11, right?
I don't actually know.
I think it does. I think there's like 13 or some crazy number.
Yeah.
Star Wars 11 franchise. Oh, man. This is weird. Leprechaun? No, there's only 7 of those.
No. You'll kick yourself because one is incredibly fucking obvious.
Say it. I don't know it.
Fast and Furious.
Guys, I'm sick. I'm lightheaded, literally.
It's, Fast and Furious, Star Wars, but only the live action main series is counted here. And Harry Potter. There have been 11 Wizarding World movies.
Okay.
Fuck J.K. Rowling. There is one franchise with 12. I'll give you a couple guesses. You're never gonna get it. It is a family friendly.
Barbie?
Nope. Good guess. That did appear on the list that I was pulling from, but I don't think any of those are live action.
So if it's family friendly, Land Before Time?
No, another good guess. I'm specifically talking about live action.
Oh, sorry. I'm not paying attention. Who are you?
This franchise made
Saw.
It's a family-friendly franchise that started as a television show.
I have no clue then.
The Muppets.
Oh.
There have been 12 Muppet movies.
I actually love that. I love the Muppets.
Okay, there are 3 franchises with 13 installments. Can you guess one?
Halloween?
Halloween does not appear on this list at all. I may have just missed it in my research.
I can't remember. Friday the 13th, I don't think is on there. Although if they make 13 of them, is it?
I'm trying to think.
Like if they made 13 of them, they should just stop because that's fucking funny.
Who's the bad guy in Friday the 13th?
Jason.
Okay.
Voorhees.
Okay. Jason appears on this list. We'll get to that. It's not in this. That is not the correct answer for. There are 3 franchises with 13 installments.
God, James Bond has more.
More.
God, there are a lot of Bond movies.
It's one of them is an incredibly famous sci-fi franchise.
Star Trek.
Yeah,
Star Trek.
there you go.
Yeah.
So it's Star Trek. Well, I guess there's 2 that are incredibly famous sci-fi franchises: Star Trek Medea, which is hilarious, and the Alien versus Predator universe. So we're all of the aliens.
That feels like cheating.
It is a little bit cheating.
It's
a little bit cheating.
No, it's funny,
but so it's like, I mean, it is a connected universe. But that's the thing is the confusing part about this is Blade Runner was not included. Blade Runner 2049, which are technically a part of the Alien universe, were not included on that list. Yeah. So maybe it's 15. 14 installments. There are 3 franchises with 14 installments. One of these is super popular and one that I know you could get. The other one is a little bit cheaty, but also one.
How many? Sorry.
There are 3 franchises with 14 installments. 2 of them are huge franchises that I know you love.
Oh, that I love?
Yes.
Is it?
Oh, I just...
What?
They're this is only going to confuse you, but they're connected in a way.
Is it like the Friday the 13th?
No,
because those
it's not horror.
Those would connect through Freddy versus Jason.
That may appear later.
Yeah, figures. So it's not horror. So it's not Halloween.
No, it's not horror.
And I love them.
I'll give you one of the 3. It's Air Bud. There have been 14 Air Bud movies.
And I love Air Bud. No.
The other 2 are the ones that I think you could actually get.
Do I own any of them on Blu-ray?
For sure. Probably from both. Definitely from both.
Fucking
from both franchises.
Fascinating.
Like for sure. Several.
I don't know, dude. I'm gonna be honest. I'm so confused now.
We may have been discussing a movie or a character earlier when we were sitting at the dinner table.
Oh, Spider-Man?
Spider-Man.
So yeah, there's...
So the Spider-Mans. There have been 14 Spider-Mans.
Fuck.
The other one, do you want me to just give it to you?
Yeah.
X-Men. There have been 14 X-Men or X-Men universe movies. All the Deadpools.
The original 3, the 2 Deadpool, Logan, Wolverine, X-Men Origins, Days of Future Past, First Class. God fucking damn.
Okay, the list that I thought these might be slightly wrong-ish because some of these franchises included movies that have been announced but not made yet.
I think that...
So that's possible that the X-Men one is a little bit iffy because...
It vaguely counts.
It's like Deadpool 3 isn't out yet.
It's filming. Ryan Reynolds can't improv.
There are 2 with 15. Both of them are incredibly famous and one of them's kind of a cheat. One of them is a universe.
Oh, a universe.
Yeah. What's the other one? There's the MCU. What's the other one?
The DCU?
Yeah, the DCU.
There really been 14 of them?
There are 15. Yeah, there are 15 DCEU movies.
Fucking shit.
The other one is Star Wars if you include the animated and the other weird spin-offs. The Ewok movies.
All right.
There have been 15 Star Wars movies, which is wild. 2 franchises with 18. One of them we brought up earlier. Can you guess it? It may be a mixed franchise.
Oh, is it the Friday the 13th?
Freddy versus Jason.
Freddy versus Jason universe.
You're 18.
Freddy versus Jason is terrible, but it's so much fun.
Yeah. The other one is Amityville Horror. There have been 18 Amityville Horror movies. That's a lot.
I never would have guessed 18, but there have been a lot of those movies, so that's fucking crazy to think.
There is a franchise with 25 installments. We brought it up earlier. It's James Bond. There have been 25 James Bond movies. Now, here's the one where the list pissed me off and confused me a little bit. The MCU has had 32 installments.
Yeah.
But it said there have been 40. It said there were 40. Just because there are like 8 that are planned or announced or filmed.
Yeah.
Or in various degrees of announced or actually like it. Like, because like, you know, whatever the ones, Marvels, that one's like coming out in a few months or in a couple months.
November or something like that.
So it's like that one's like we've seen footage, we know it's coming. But then there's like also like there are other ones like later in development that are like haven't been like even started filming yet.
Yeah.
That are like on that list. So it's like there are 40 planned or announced or scheduled MCU movies, which is fucking crazy. The next one is 38. There have been 38 films in this franchise. The majority of the movies are not English language, so this is also a little bit of a cheat.
Then I don't know it.
Godzilla.
Fucking hilarious.
There have been 38, man. Holy Moses.
That's a lot of movies.
This is including the remakes, the one from the 90s, the most recent one. But man, that's a lot of movies. And the franchise with the most ever, and this is, you're not going to get this, so I'm just going to tell you. The franchise with the most installments ever.
The Godfather.
With 88 installments. And this series started in the 70s. Is a Japanese, like, superhero franchise called Kamen Rider.
Okay.
There are 88 installments of this franchise.
You want to start that?
What?
Start watching those movies?
Oh yeah, we got to. Not to. So anyways, that's a lot of movies and a lot of French. 80 fucking 8.
So many.
In like 50 years they've made 88 movies. That's the craziest part. Because it started, I think, in 77 was the first one. So it's like not even 50 years.
Yeah.
Like 45
Goddamn.
years. 45 years they've made 88 movies. That's too many, guys.
Wild shit.
Chill out.
Chill out a little bit.
Recommendations?
Mine is simple. It just ended. Barry is incredible.
Yeah.
Like, I think it will hopefully go down as one of the, at least Zeitgeist wise, one of the great TV series. It is a weird avant-garde experiment that only gets weirder and weirder. Like,
love it.
Like, I'm telling you, dude, I've never seen I've seen a lot of stuff, seen a lot of shows, seen a lot of movies, taken in a lot of stories. I know me, right? I went to film school. But it's like there's an episode in this newest season that I was sitting there like, no, I could see that happening. Or I could see that happening. Or I could see that other thing. Oh shit, what the fuck is gonna happen? Where I literally had no clue.
Yeah.
I had no idea. And then what happened felt like the most inevitable thing. Like that, all they did is like make it surprising but inevitable. This show epitomizes that.
Yeah.
It is so incredible. And Bill Hader is unbelievable. Like, I think I hope he gets his like fucking run as like Jordan Peele's gotten, right, of just making a movie every couple of years, right?
Yeah.
Because I think he is doing some of the most interesting work in directing right now. It's incredible. That show is so well written and so well shot and so well performed. Like, everything about it fires on all cylinders every single season. It's unbelievable. There's not a bad episode in it. Legitimately. Like, I genuinely don't think there's a bad episode in that series. There are more great episodes than there are not great episodes. Like, then there are just good episodes.
Yeah.
Like, it's so fucking good. I've seen the first 2 seasons like 4 times each. Like, yeah. I love it desperately. Anyway, that's my recommendation. Barry.
I have been watching a ton of Roger Deakins movies. And for a reason that I think we will explain next time.
Woo.
But I have been going through a lot of the movies that I have not seen in a long time or never seen at all. And I think the one that I have been by far the most surprised by, and the one I think I like the most, is the Hudsucker Proxy. I don't know why. I don't know why I knew I would really like it, but I just kind of knew I would really like it. And so like, as I've been going through all these movies, I was like, man, I want to watch the Hudsucker Proxy next. Man, I want to watch the Hudsucker Proxy next. And then for one reason or another, I just couldn't make it work until finally I watched it. I was like, damn it, that movie fucking rules. I legitimately don't understand how that movie is not a cult classic. Because it is the exact type. It is like, it feels so like, not in like a story way or an aesthetic way, but it feels so similar to The Big Lebowski in a lot of ways, where it's like, how did like a group of people not completely just latch onto this shit? Because it just feels so perfect for one specific group of people to go, man, that's the best fucking movie ever made. Like,
I love that description. Just one very specific group of people to go, oh, that's fun.
because it's like, it's good and weird and funny and well shot, and like, it's not for everyone. If I showed 10 people and 8 people didn't like it, I would be like, yep, that tracks. Because it just like, just would not surprise me if any of our listeners, any of the people watching, watched it and was like, why did you recommend it? I would kind of understand that. But it just has this weird and fun energy and comedy that you just kind of don't see anymore. And so the Hudsucker Proxy, shout out. That movie should be way more popular, or at least should have a cult following, and I don't understand why it doesn't.
Yeah.
Hudsucker Proxy. Get into it.
You got a ton of stuff to watch with all these long-running series.
Movies in the
films.
Kamen Rider franchise.
I just am picturing like Ghost Rider, but not on fire. I don't. Anyway, you got a lot of stuff to watch, a lot of homeworks to do, a lot of fast X to be not too pleased with.
Yeah.
Most likely.
And 2 pages of notes.
2 pages of notes to study for your test next week. We'll see you there. Anyway, so like, I don't know. Go watch that stuff. Or don't. I don't know. Live your life.